YouTube, what is up, all? Rick Bauer, I'm back again with another high definition television episode. I was going to talk about some new stuff, but I am still letting some of it sink in. Mark my words, we will be discussing a handful of amazing albums that have come out in 2023 that I am very stoked about. And you're actually seeing one in the background, but we're not going to talk about that right now. It's later. Right now, we're just going to talk about some old presses that have been on the turntable a lot as of late. A lot of them are recent-ish pickups. Actually, I think these are all pickups from 2023, probably going as far back as like late winter, maybe early spring. I don't know. It doesn't matter either way. They've all been just stuck out on the now playing rotation. So we might as well start with classic. This is actually a recent pickup. I didn't have this previously, believe it or not. Hawkwind's Hall of the Mountain Grill. Stumbled across this in a bargain bin because it has seen better days. Definitely a partied on LP sleeve. You got splits, top and bottom. What is hilarious, however, is that it did come with the printed inner sleeve. And aside from this corner cut, there are no signs of seam splits on this bad boy. This is classic Hawkwind. It's one of those albums that, when it comes to Hawkwind, I don't know. I think one of the main ones people reach for, next to Warrior at the Edge of Time or Do Re Mi Fa Sol La, La Ti, whatever it's a long and arbitrary album title. I love that record though. This is proving to be my favorite classic era Hawkwind. Just a stellar record. 10 out of 10. I'm taking it out of the sleeve again. I want to look at it a little bit more. 10 out of 10 record, man. You get the classics on here. Psychedelic Warlords, D-Rider, Hall of the Mountain Grill, the title track, Lost Johnny, Lemmy Track. This album is killer. Essential Hawkwind. And again, I didn't have it before. It's not the best, most pristine copy. The wax is clean though, and that's really all that's important. Shit plays awesome. So, you know, I'm not gonna gripe. Fucking stoked. Here's another one that I didn't have before and has eluded me for a long time. I've been kind of holding out, thinking that I would stumble across a repress at a local, because it's not a rare band. And, you know, you see other records of theirs all the time. The same records all the fucking time. I'm talking about Motorhead. We've got Orgasmatron here. GWR Profile Records release. Produced by Bill Laswell. And the Bill Laswell production on this is heard and it's weird. But I love this record. It's a solid Motorhead record from the 80s. 86 to be exact. Is it my favorite 80s Motorhead record? No, probably not. But it's up there. I really like this record. And I'm really hyped that I found this edition. OG with the inner lyrics. Not that I'm going to read the lyrics. I'm just super hyped to have found this. And it, like, cost what a reissue would have cost, which is kind of ridiculous when all is said and done. Considering that the reissues, pretty, I don't know, not great. just based off of one or two of the other Motorhead reissues I've got. Yeah, super stoked on that one too. It's been on the turntable like a bunch. A bunch. You know what else has been on the turntable? A whole bunch. Falling by Decry on Toxic Shock Records. LA hardcore. This album rules. Just epitome of like SoCal hardcore. Not in like the Black Flag vein. Maybe a little bit. More in common with like Blast. The Blast was always compared to Black Flag, but they were kind of like skate punk, surf punk. Decry kind of falls into that category, but super pissed off. 80s hardcore, it rules. West Coast shit. Got a cool inner. I'm pretty much guaranteed to dig anything though that Toxic Shock released. So, you know, it's not a big surprise that this Decry hits me the way that it does. I'm pulling out the record. It's on black. It doesn't really matter, but I fucking love these labels from Toxic Shock did. Like the silver on pink, just rad. Just a rad record. Just an awesome time capsule. And I really can't get enough of it. I kind of slept on these guys back in the day. I knew of them, but I just kind of assumed they'd be also Rans. As kids do, you know, stupid shit. This record's just killer though. Absolutely awesome. Hardcore punk rock. Now speaking of hardcore, got this reissue of the Jesuit Anthology. I don't know if you can read that name. This is from 2021, 2019. Originally, this material was reissued. I don't know. We'll see if it says inside. Cool Pusshead inspired artwork here, or like John Baisley. Came with this huge fucking fold-out poster. I guess it's not that huge, but it's pretty big. I don't know why I just bothered to unfurl it. Came with a flexi disc. It's everything Jesuit ever released. If you're not familiar with Jesuit, they're like kind of in that Holy Terror hardcore vein of like Ringworm, Integrity, Pulling Teeth, Gehenna, the good Gehenna. There's a couple good. I don't know. I like elements of all three Gehennas that I can think of right off the top of my head, but the hardcore Gehenna would be my favorite. And I just, again, pink, more pink, please. This is killer stuff. It is everything Jesuit released. Splits are on here. One of the things that I really like is that their version of they did a metallic, not a metallic, Jesus Christ, Black Sabbath tribute, and they covered Hole in the Sky, and their version's really good, and it's on here along with everything else. Really rad. Not something I really expected to stumble across, but yeah, super glad I picked it up. It has been spun a lot as well. Having trouble getting the vinyl back into its sleeve. There we go. There we go. All's well with the world again. Jesuit. Rad. Getting more brutal. This was, oh man. Finding this record made like my week when I found it. Probably, I want to say I snagged this my first week living here. It's back in May. Crom, Hot Sumerian Nights. If you're unfamiliar with the musical stylings of Crom, they're like a SoCal, really kind of tied into the SoCal power violence movement, like Spaz and all those guys. Crom themselves were not really power violence. They kind of played around with it, jokingly, but they were more of like a thrash band. Meets like doom on occasion, meets death metal. Very kind of hard to peg. Tongue-in-cheek, for sure. There are a lot of Conan the Barbarian samples on this album, as one would expect. Yeah, just awesome. Awesome fucking album. Again, something I never thought I was going to stumble across. These are hard to come by. They're hard to find. The first album, the Cocaine Wars record, that's even more difficult to find, and that's still on my list. But I got this one checked off, and this is the Crom record for me. Just rad. It's so good. Really hyped. That one, literally, like I said, since picking all these up, these have not left the now playing section. Other records have come and left the now playing section since some of these have been acquired. These have staying power. This one, Kellen actually talked about the album that precedes this on Heavy Metallurgy last Friday. This would be the second record from Holy Terror. Mind Wars. For my money, the better of the two records. I love the first record though, but this album is just on another level. It's godly as far as thrash metal is concerned. Love that image on the back. This is a Road Racer press. We've got the obligatory thrash collage, lyrics, and of course, those pretty Road Racer labels. Oh, love it. This record is just killer. Unrelenting thrash metal of like the highest caliber. The songwriting on this is just on another level. It's bonkers. These guys just were killer. I don't know, one of the tidbits I always tend to throw out, Kurt Kilfelt on guitar, shreds on this record. He was from Agent Steel. He actually went on to join Zeke, a Seattle area punk band, one of my favorites, and one of the most important bands in my musical development. Maybe I'll talk about Zeke and some of the other bands that really shape High Defamation's musical leanings. This Holy Terror, though, just killer. Fucking peep it. If you don't know that record, you gotta learn that record. It's awesome. All right, this is probably the find out of the stack. Holy shit. SOB. What's the truth? First of all, let's look at that art again. It's just, that is so good. So good. I kind of liken this to SOB's Harmony Corruption. Yeah, more or less. The songs are still faster than they are on Harmony Corruption. This is also, interestingly enough, Rise Above Records number 4, the 4th release on Lee Dorian's Rise Above Records. This is a tour edition of the album. You've got all the UK tour dates listed there, as well as Europe. You got Zurich, Paris, Vienna, Berlin. Lyrics, SOB, just was a sabotage, organized barbarian. First heard these guys on their Napalm Death split. And then the Don't Be Swindle album, which also fucking rules. A little bit different sounding this. That one is just a full-on grind assault. This album still retains those grind elements, but it's toying with death metal quite a lot on this album. It's really good. One of my favorites, personal favorites. Been a grail of mine. Grail. I'm saying grail. Throwing it down. I know people lately seem to like get all fucking curmudgeonly over the use of the word grail. It's not a grail if you can get it. Grails are something that you want for an indeterminate amount of time, years and years and years, that you don't think will ever come across your path or fall into your hands. And somehow, by the grace of the karmic gods, you managed to find against all odds. That's this record right here. And you have to go to Discogs. It's amazing. SOB. What's the Truth? Again, glorious cover art. Let's bring it down a notch. Black Uhuru. Sinsamilla. This album is rad. The third Black Uhuru record, I think? Second or third record. Precedes the album Red, which is a favorite of mine as well. This one, you don't see as often. I mean, you don't see Red real often either, but this one you don't see nearly as often. So finding this, super awesome. It is the first album with these two on it, if I'm not mistaken. Basically a solo record for him, considering that he did all of the songwriting. It's got Sly and Robbie production. Sly and Robbie Sly plays drums. You got Robbie on bass. This album is this is a very heartfelt, angry roots reggae record. I'd say along the lines of like Max Romeo's War in Babylon. It's a little bit less like croony than that record, but still just a fucking joy to listen to this album and fucking have it. Super hyped that I have it. One of my favorite roots records, for sure, and one I've been after for a bit since I started buying like reggae and dub like a lot. Here's another one. I'm not going to call it a grail, but it is one that I have been looking for pretty avidly since, again, I started filling out the shelves with more reggae and dub, because this one has become hard to find. And that would be Burning Spear with their Marcus Garvey record. This is a it's a Universal reissue from, I don't know, like 10 years ago, maybe? I'm not sure. So it's not like a brand new repress, but it's not an old press. Got the faux old island labels. I think it actually says on here 75. I'm not sure. This album is an essential roots reggae record. More essential than that Black Uhuru, I would say. It's just phenomenal, this record. Stellar. I can't think of many other roots artists that I would put above this. Maybe Prince Farai, Prince Jazzbo is really fucking great. Are they better than this Burning Spear? I don't know, that's a question for debating. Let me know down below what you think. What's your favorite roots reggae record? I really like that one. Now let's get spooky. Batcave. Comp. Young Limbs. Ooh. Love that gatefold. This is like an essential comp when it comes to goth music. I stumbled across this in a store. A cool story about this store. I'm not showing everything I picked up on that trip because a lot of it's been put away. It's a new store for me. I'd never been in there before. It was like probably the day before my birthday, and I remember that because the day before my birthday I woke up and somebody had managed to get a hold of my debit card information and run a bunch of fraudulent charges. So I had to use my credit card that entire week while I waited on a new debit card from my bank. At any rate, I wandered into this shop and I was not in a great mood, but I wanted to do some digging at a new spot, and this place had been highly recommended by more than a few people to me. And so, a little bit small, but immediately established a rapport with the guy working, just shooting the shit, going back and forth, talking about music, records, digging, that kind of stuff. I didn't find a whole lot. Now, I did go through the hip-hop section, and I did find one record that I was super stoked to find because it's a bit of a rarity. And we'll talk about that record on a later date, but I'd never seen it in a brick-and-mortar location. Only ever on Discogs. Now, it wasn't in the best of shape, but it was priced appropriately. Not high, but also not cheap. And it was about the only thing I found. So I went to the counter and he said, "Hey, did you look through the new arrivals?" And I said, "I didn't even see new arrivals." So he showed me where the new arrivals were, and I went digging through that, and I found just a stack of shit. Like the first Murphy's Law OG on the translucent green vinyl for that. Stupid record, but you got a Crucial Barbecue, just stellar. Amongst other things, that Black Uhuru was another one. And so I pulled up this stack, and I took it to the counter, and I said, okay, I'm going to get this stack, but never mind that first record I brought up. I'm not going to get that. And he was like, "Oh, man, why not?" And I was just like, I kind of told him about the debit card issue and how I was trying not to spend a whole bunch of money. And he said, "You know what, since you're getting this big stack, I'll throw in that other record, like $20 off." Which was crazy, right? Like, that's nuts. Took off $20 off the cost of that first record. So you got a customer for like as long as they're open, man. I'm going to be going there. So, long story short, I got this Batcave record amongst a few a few others, a handful of others. Who's on this record? Specimen are fucking great, super awesome goth out of the Batcave scene in the UK. Sex Beat, really funny band. Test Department. I mean, that's a gimme right there. Test Department rules. Probably the best known band on here would be the Alien Sex Fiend track. They do R.I.P. You get the Meat of Youth, the Venomettes, Paddy Paladin, James T. Percy. This is just a really cool collection of tracks. And they're not all tracks that you would think would be on this, you find on the same record. So it's cool that they are on here. Just a nice piece of goth history, and one that I am stoked to have in the collection. Yeah, good shit. And the last record we're going to talk about, one of the more recent finds. This is just holy shit. Did I really just find this? I don't usually keep records in the shrink, but this record's been in the shrink since 1987. It's got a hype sticker on there still. It's got a Tower Records price tag from 1987, $8.99. We're talking about Skinny Puppy with Cleansefold and Manipulate. Dare I say, the best Skinny Puppy record from this era? I kind of split them into eras. This album's amazing. Inner sleeve intact, but does have splits. I'm not bothered by that. I mean, this record's old as fuck. The vinyl itself is just mint. Beautiful Capitol labels. Network, of course, a subsidiary of Capitol Records. Who is it? Fucking Sheryl Crow was on Network Records for a hot minute. That always cracks me up. At any rate, I fucking love this record. It is a descent into industrial hell. Just a testament to what a band can do without analog, meaning live instruments. An amazing album, really. And I don't know, Shrink's coming off. One of these days it'll probably just come off on its own. I'll have to put that fucking hype in with the record. But man, the fact that I managed to land this album, this has been on the list for a while. I won't call it a grail, because it's not one that I ever really looked for, because I just assumed I'd never get one. It's just stellar, man. Love it. And that's all I've got. That's like 10 or 11 records, something like that. Probably too many. But I managed to keep it under a half hour, so go me. What do you think? What do you have to say for yourselves? You want to talk? You want to shoot the shit about some of these records? I don't know. Comment down there. I'll respond. I always do. Might take me a few days, but I kind of pride myself on that. It's about the back and forth for me, and the interaction with the viewers and the people who are finding some cool shit through whatever it is that I'm showing. If you manage to check into something that you weren't familiar with before, and it has an impact on you, and it's because of me, that's awesome. That makes me feel fucking amazing. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still doing this shit after 8 years now. 2015. Like this time, 2015 is about when I started my channel. Maybe a little bit earlier, like June 2015. So 8 years we've been doing this YouTube thing together, and we've had ups and downs. I'm just trying to keep the motivation, trying to keep the hype for music, man. And like I said, we've got some 2023 releases we're going to be talking about probably next. I need some time to let the handful of records that I picked out to talk about really sink in. I'm looking forward to doing that one. In the meantime, Nikki Goods and I have a series that we started not the day before yesterday, Sunday, but the Sunday before that. We did intend to do it every other Sunday. However, I have some commitments this coming Sunday that are going to prevent us from being able to do it. However, we will be doing it the following Sunday, talking about a couple interesting records, to say the least. Really enjoyed that first episode, and for everybody that tuned in, really appreciate it. Mickey is a blast to talk to when it comes to records, so I do hope one of these days he starts his own channel. Until then, I'm happy to host the Brutally Honest with Nikki G and Eric B. That said, I'm rambling at this point. Just talking doesn't mean anything. The point is, I'm stoked to be talking to you guys still. I'm saying something. I'll be back. I hope you will be too. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.